Speak less and listen more. This is one of the simplest yet most powerful shifts you can make in how people respond to you. Most people fill every silence with words, trying to prove themselves, to impress, to argue, or to defend. When you stop doing that, something changes instantly. You become someone others have to pay attention to. When you speak, your words carry weight because they are rare, precise, and intentional. People notice the difference. They feel it, even if they can't explain it. Silence creates space for others to reveal themselves. When you listen, you are learning. You are observing, understanding, and gathering information that others throw away in their need to be heard. Every conversation becomes a source of insight for you. You begin to see motivations, fears, and weaknesses that most people openly display without realizing it. By speaking less, you are not only conserving your energy, but also building a presence that commands attention without force. The power of listening is underestimated. Listening gives you control without confrontation. When someone is speaking, you are in the position of strength because their words tell you everything you need to know. You hear the assumptions they are making, the insecurities they are hiding, and the strategies they are attempting. While they are busy talking, you are learning, analyzing, and storing knowledge that can guide your decisions. Speaking too often, on the other hand, exposes you. It gives others a sense of who you are and what you are thinking, which can be used against you. Every unnecessary word you say is a window into your mind. Every pause you take becomes a tool for authority. People respect someone who speaks carefully, someone who does not rush to fill empty space. When you speak less, your attention becomes deliberate. You are no longer reacting to every comment or stimulus. You are creating distance between your thoughts and your words. This distance allows you to choose exactly what to say, how to say it, and when. Others begin to notice that your words are not random. They carry significance. They carry influence. They are calculated and meaningful. This shift changes the dynamic instantly. People will start to measure their words in your presence, thinking twice before speaking, because they sense that you are not easily swayed and that you are fully aware of every detail. In social interactions, silence can be more powerful than 1,000 arguments. When someone tries to provoke you or test your patience, responding immediately often strengthens their position. Choosing to remain quiet demonstrates control and self-mastery. It communicates that you are not easily moved or manipulated. It forces them to confront their own behavior without being shielded by your reaction. This creates a shift in perception. You are no longer just another participant, you become the observer who defines the pace and flow of interaction. People feel the weight of your presence without any words from you. Speaking less also forces clarity in your communication. Since every word matters, you learn to express ideas more effectively. You choose precision over quantity. You remove filler, repetition, and unnecessary explanation. Others begin to value your words more because they recognize that what you say is deliberate, not casual. You stop competing for attention through volume and instead dominate through substance. This approach changes how people treat you immediately. They listen more attentively, they respect your insights, they seek your input because they understand it carries weight. Silence combined with listening also gives you a unique advantage in negotiation, leadership, and influence. People underestimate the power of restraint. Most react impulsively, and their eagerness is often their weakness. When you remain composed, speaking only when necessary, you gain leverage. You control the timing of decisions, the flow of information, and the direction of conversations. Others begin to follow your lead, consciously or unconsciously, because your restraint signals confidence, authority, and knowledge. The transformation begins the moment you decide to listen more and speak less. It is a change in behavior, but it is also a change in mindset. You stop seeking validation through words. You stop trying to dominate conversations with noise. Instead, you command respect through attention, observation, and intentional communication. People respond differently because you are no longer operating on their terms. You are in control of your energy, your focus, and your presence. This one change can alter relationships, influence outcomes, and reshape how others perceive you permanently. Every environment you enter becomes a field of opportunity. By listening more than speaking, you pick up on what is unspoken. You notice the patterns of behavior, the unsaid frustrations, the hidden agendas. Others reveal themselves fully, while you remain strategically composed. Over time, this approach builds your reputation. You are known as someone who does not overextend, someone who is measured, someone whose words are valued, someone who carries authority without force. This is the first step in the process that will change how people treat you. It is simple, yet it is the foundation of influence, respect, and power. The practice is not passive, listening is active, observing is intentional, speaking is calculated. By mastering this balance, you create a presence that is magnetic and commanding. People will notice the difference immediately. They will adjust their behavior, they will test your boundaries, and through your restraint, they will learn where you stand. They will treat you with the respect that your discipline demands. Speaking less and listening more is not about being silent out of fear or weakness. It is about asserting control over your presence, your energy, and your relationships. This is the strategy that transforms ordinary interaction into influence and authority. Once you commit to speaking less and listening more, the effects are visible quickly. People stop interrupting you. They consider your thoughts carefully. They pause before speaking because they feel your weight in the room. Every conversation becomes a tool for observation. Every silence becomes a signal of strength. Over time, your reputation grows. You are no longer defined by reaction or emotion, but by careful thought, deliberate action, and strategic presence. One simple shift, speaking less and listening more, changes everything about how people treat you, how they respond, and how they value your presence. This is the first move in a transformation that will redefine how you are perceived. Every interaction becomes an opportunity to command attention, gather intelligence, and assert influence without unnecessary effort. Speaking less and listening more is the foundation of respect, the precursor to power, and the first step in creating the dynamic where others respond differently to you instantly. This one change sets the stage for every other strategy that will follow in your journey. Time is the most powerful asset you possess, yet most people treat it carelessly. Every minute you allow to be wasted is a moment someone else could take advantage of, a moment that could have strengthened your mind, your body, or your influence. When you value your time relentlessly, you command respect without ever speaking a word. People will notice how selective you are about what you engage in. They will sense that your hours are precious, that your attention is not a commodity to be taken lightly, and this alone shifts the balance of power in your favor. In practice, this means evaluating every interaction and opportunity before committing. If a meeting does not serve your growth or a conversation drains you without offering insight or value, remove yourself. Refuse to allow your presence to be exploited by those who cannot match your discipline. You will feel the difference immediately. Freedom replaces distraction, clarity replaces noise, and your mind begins to operate with precision instead of chaos. This is not arrogance, it is self-respect enforced with action. You will find that once you prioritize your own time above the desires of others, people naturally begin to treat you. They will no longer assume your availability. Your silence in certain areas becomes powerful because it demonstrates that your attention is earned, not given freely. You will start to observe that those who once took your energy for granted suddenly approach with caution. with consideration, and with the understanding that their demands must meet the standards you set. It also requires discipline with technology, with commitments, and with habits. Stop answering calls that waste your energy, decline engagements that distract you from your objectives, and do not allow interruptions to dictate the rhythm of your day. Each choice reinforces the message that your time is not public property. Every action communicates the principle that your life is directed by strategy, not impulse. The impact is not just external. Internally, you will feel a profound sense of control. By valuing your time, you structure your day around what matters, allowing your mind to focus on what drives results. You will no longer react to every demand or distraction. Instead, your attention becomes a tool wielded deliberately to advance your position, sharpen your skills, and fortify your presence. Ultimately, people will start to notice the difference in how you operate. They sense when someone prioritizes themselves and their objectives above convenience, and they instinctively respond with respect. It is the subtle shift that changes the way the world interacts with you. Your decisions become weighty, your words become measured, and your presence becomes commanding. The habit of valuing your time relentlessly is more than a practice. It is an unspoken declaration that you operate on your own terms, and that in itself is magnetic, intimidating, and powerful. The moment you adopt this discipline, you begin to notice patterns in how people treat you. They begin to mirror the seriousness with which you treat yourself. They stop taking liberties, stop testing boundaries, and start recognizing that your attention is a currency, a resource with limits, and that limits are enforced. This is the essence of influence, not through confrontation, not through force, but through the power of deliberate presence and control over your own life. Train yourself to see every hour as an opportunity. Protect your mornings as sacred time to prepare for the day. Structure your afternoons around meaningful output, and guard your evenings from frivolity that drains energy. Each moment of defense of your time reinforces the image you project to the world. Someone who is measured, deliberate, and impossible to manipulate. People begin to align their expectations with your standards. Those who once treated you casually begin to reconsider. They learn through observation that your time cannot be taken lightly, that your choices are intentional, and that engaging with you requires respect. Over time, this habit shapes not only how others treat you, but also how you perceive your own life. You start to operate with a clarity of purpose, a precision in your actions, and a freedom from the chaos of unnecessary demands. To be relentless in valuing your time is to make yourself untouchable in a subtle but profound way. It is not about isolating yourself or refusing connection. It is about insisting that every engagement, every interaction, every task you undertake serves your goals, your growth, and your sense of self-respect. This practice separates those who are reactive from those who are strategic. It separates those who are exploited from those who command presence. When you implement this habit, you create a new standard for the world around you. People start to approach you differently. They speak with intention, act with awareness, and respect the boundaries you have established. Your focus and discipline radiate without effort, changing the dynamics of every interaction. Value your time relentlessly, and the transformation is inevitable. You gain respect, authority, and influence, and people begin to recognize that your presence is not casual. It is deliberate, powerful, and undeniable. This is the path to control over your life, over your energy, and over the way others respond to you. To value your time is to command the world without confrontation. It is the silent force that shapes perception, enforces boundaries, and ensures that you are never treated as expendable. By protecting this most precious resource, you define your own worth and compel others to align with it. changing how you are treated in every sphere of life. Seeking approval from others is a trap that steals your power and undermines your presence. When you constantly look for validation, your actions become reactive, and your energy is no longer yours. People sense when you act to please them rather than from a position of strategy and self-respect, and they instinctively exploit that weakness. To shift how people treat you, you must first stop relying on their opinions to define your worth. This begins with understanding that approval is never guaranteed. No matter how carefully you act, how hard you try, or how much effort you put into pleasing others, their recognition can be fleeting, unreliable, or shallow. Dependence on external validation leaves you vulnerable to manipulation and emotional instability. Every decision based on pleasing someone else weakens your position, allowing others to control your focus, your mood, and ultimately your influence. By breaking free from the need for approval, you reclaim control over your actions. You learn to move decisively, speak deliberately, and act without hesitation. When your actions are aligned with your own goals and principles rather than someone else's expectations, a subtle but undeniable shift, people begin to notice the confidence and independence in your behavior. Your choices gain weight, your presence becomes deliberate, and your silence or speech carries authority. This habit demands you must recognize when a desire for validation is influencing your decisions, your words, or your presence. Each time you feel the pull to justify yourself, explain, or appease, pause. Assess whether the action benefits your objectives or simply gratifies someone else's sense of control. Over time, this awareness becomes instinctive. You no longer act for external recognition, but for tangible outcomes and strategic advantage. The impact on others is profound. When people see that you do not bend to their opinions, they begin to treat you differently. They understand that your energy is reserved, that your attention is earned, and that you operate according to your own rules. This alone inspires respect, commands authority, and enforces boundaries without confrontation. You become unpredictable to manipulators because your actions cannot be anticipated based on their expectations. It also changes your internal landscape. You stop measuring your value based on others' reactions. Instead, you anchor your confidence in results, preparation, and discipline. This creates a powerful feedback loop. The more you act independently of approval, the more confident and assertive you become, which in turn influences how others respond to you. You start to observe that people who once sought to control or belittle you begin approaching you cautiously, with respect, and often with a subtle deference. Every interaction becomes a test of your focus and independence. Conversations no longer demand agreement, alignment, or flattery. You learn to speak and act with purpose, maintaining clarity without needing validation. Over time, this builds a presence that others cannot ignore or manipulate. Your self-possession becomes visible, palpable, and commanding. The act of not seeking approval becomes a magnet for influence and power. Stopping the need for approval is not about arrogance or isolation. It is about cultivating self-reliance, integrity, and strategy. It is about ensuring that your actions always serve your objectives, your growth, and your influence. When this habit is fully internalized, people begin to understand that you cannot be swayed by praise or criticism. Your decisions are deliberate, your focus is sharp, and your energy is entirely yours to deploy strategically. The psychological effect is people notice the shift in your demeanor, your calmness under pressure, and your refusal to react to opinion-based provocations. Those who once ignored or undermined you begin to treat you with consideration. Your presence, no longer dependent on their approval, becomes a tool of influence in itself. You operate from a position of internal authority, not external validation. And this fundamentally changes the way the world interacts with you. Every opportunity to act without seeking approval strengthens this habit. Each moment you resist the urge to justify, explain, or please reinforces your independence and your sense of control. Over time, this builds a reputation that precedes you, a reputation of someone who is self-directed, disciplined, and untouchable in their focus. People naturally begin to adjust their behavior to align with your standards, realizing that their attempts to influence or sway you are ineffective. This habit extends beyond personal interactions. In professional settings, it creates leaders who are respected, decisive, and unshakable. In social settings, it fosters admiration and careful engagement. By acting independently of approval, you set the terms of interaction. You no longer respond to every stimulus or attempt at control. Your presence becomes a measure of influence and authority, and your actions dictate the rhythm of engagement rather than being dictated by others. The ultimate effect is a life lived strategically, where your energy is protected, your focus is maintained, and your presence commands respect. By ceasing to seek approval, you force the world to recognize your autonomy. You operate with clarity, decisiveness, and power, and people adjust to the reality that you cannot be manipulated by their praise, criticism, or expectation. This single shift in behavior transforms how you are perceived, how you are treated, and how effectively you can navigate every interaction, leaving a lasting impact on everyone around you. Mastering your presence is one of the most powerful ways to change how people treat you. Presence is not about speaking loudly, showing off, or demanding attention. True presence is a quiet authority that makes people notice you, respect you, and think carefully before acting around you. It is the energy you bring into a room, the way you carry yourself, and the sense that your attention, time, and actions are deliberate. When mastered, presence alone can command respect and subtly influence others without a single word of confrontation. The first step in mastering presence is understanding that it is rooted in self-control. People can sense insecurity, hesitation, or desperation, and they respond to it instinctively. Every fidget, every nervous glance, every over-explained word signals weakness. Presence comes from being calm, composed, and deliberate in your actions and speech. When you enter a space, your movements, your posture, and your pace communicate confidence and authority. You do not need approval, and your energy is fully yours. This command over yourself becomes a signal that others cannot ignore. Another key aspect is intentional silence. Speaking less and pausing before responding makes your words carry weight. People will pay closer attention when they know that your voice is used carefully. Interruptions, rapid speech, or oversharing dilute your presence. Every word you choose should feel purposeful, deliberate, and impactful. When mastered, silence becomes a tool that enhances your authority and presence. People begin to measure your words, treat your opinions with care, and respect your space without you ever asking for it. Observation is equally important. A person with strong presence watches, listens, and absorbs before acting. You understand the dynamics of the room, the motivations of the people around you, and the currents of conversation. This strategic awareness allows you to act in a way that commands respect without force. You are seen as deliberate, controlled, and intelligent. People sense that you are assessing, choosing, and deciding carefully, and this naturally elevates your influence. Presence is as much about the energy you give off as the actions you take. Physicality also plays a role in mastering presence. The way you hold yourself, your facial expressions, and your gestures communicate authority. Standing tall, moving with purpose, and making eye contact without overdoing it signals confidence. Small details like controlling your breathing, maintaining a steady tone of voice, and moving deliberately communicate calmness and mastery. Your body becomes a tool that enforces the sense that you are in control of yourself and your environment. Equally crucial is the ability to detach from distractions or provocations. Someone with presence does not react impulsively to criticism, disrespect, or manipulation. Your responses are measured, and you only engage when strategic. People quickly realize that attempts to provoke you or undermine you are useless. This calm, controlled presence sends a silent but powerful message: you are not to be taken lightly, and your energy is reserved for matters that matter. Mastering presence also you cannot switch between being attentive, calm, and composed one day and reactive, impatient, or over-eager the next. Inconsistency signals weakness and invites manipulation. A person with presence is reliable in their demeanor, which builds trust and respect. Others learn to predict your composure and adjust their behavior accordingly. They do not test boundaries because they know you are deliberate and unshakable. Your presence influences both personal and professional relationships. At work, people will approach your ideas with seriousness, seek your input, and weigh your opinions carefully. Socially, people respect your space, value your time, and are more likely to defer to you in decisions. Mastering presence ensures that your actions, not just your words, communicate authority and influence. It allows you to operate strategically, commanding respect without conflict and influencing outcomes with subtlety. A critical element of mastering presence is emotional control. People with strong presence do not allow anger, frustration, or fear to show. You maintain a calm exterior, even in challenging situations, which reinforces your authority. Others cannot predict your reactions or use emotion against you. This restraint increases the weight of your decisions and words. They understand that engaging with you requires thought, care, and respect because your presence alone establishes boundaries. Every interaction becomes a platform to reinforce presence. From the way you greet someone to the way you listen, speak, and act, presence is communicated through consistency, control, and intention. People begin to respond differently, treating your time, opinions, and space with care. Your energy is no longer consumed by the attempts of others to influence or disrespect you. Instead, it is preserved, focused, and directed toward your objectives, making you appear untouchable in influence and authority. Presence is the combination of self-control, awareness, deliberate speech, controlled body language, and emotional mastery. When these elements are integrated, they create an undeniable force that changes how people treat you. You are no longer someone who reacts or seeks approval. You are someone who commands attention, earns respect, and establishes influence simply by being. Others begin to interact with you cautiously and respectfully, recognizing that your energy is powerful and your focus unshakable. Over time, mastering presence transforms the way the world perceives you. It becomes evident in how people defer to your decisions, value your input, and adjust their behavior to match your standards. This authority is not demanded, it is earned through control, discipline, and strategic energy management. Presence ensures that people cannot manipulate, provoke, or ignore you, and it becomes a permanent asset in every interaction. Ultimately, mastering presence is about internal control, reflected externally. It is about ensuring that every movement, word, and thought is aligned with your objectives and your self-respect. When fully embodied, presence alone can shift how people behave, think, and respond to you. They recognize your energy as intentional, your focus as disciplined, and your authority as undeniable. Mastering presence is not an act. It is a state of being that transforms every interaction into an opportunity for influence, respect, and strategic advantage. Acting with unshakable confidence, is the final step in transforming the way people perceive and respond to you. Confidence is not about arrogance, loudness, or demanding attention. True confidence is quiet, deliberate, and unwavering. It is a presence that communicates without words that your decisions, your actions, and your energy are not to be questioned. When you act with this level of certainty, people instinctively adjust their behavior toward you. They respect your space, follow your lead, and treat your time and opinions as valuable. The foundation of unshakable confidence is clarity about your own goals and values. When you know what you want and why you want it, you are no longer easily influenced or distracted by the opinions of others. Every choice becomes deliberate, every action becomes purposeful. People sense this certainty in your demeanor and respond with deference. They recognize that your confidence is rooted not in ego, but in preparation, discipline, and awareness of your own capabilities. Unshakable confidence is demonstrated through consistency. Every movement, gesture, and word must reflect your self-assurance. Wavering in decisions, over-explaining yourself, or seeking validation erodes the perception of confidence. When you act decisively and maintain composure, even under pressure, people begin to trust your judgment. They start to see you as someone who can be relied upon, someone whose direction is not to be questioned, and someone whose presence, control over your emotions is a critical component. Confidence is not merely a performance, it is a state of being that remains steady regardless of external circumstances. When provoked, challenged, or doubted, a confident person does not react impulsively or allow anger and frustration to show. They respond deliberately, choosing the moment and the manner of their action. This self-restraint signals strength and establishes boundaries without needing confrontation. Others quickly learn that your energy is not to be wasted or manipulated. Physical presence reinforces confidence. Standing tall, moving with purpose, and maintaining steady eye contact communicates certainty and authority. Your voice should be controlled, clear, and deliberate, carrying weight without needing to dominate. Every aspect of how you hold yourself, from posture to breathing, should reflect the message that you are in control of yourself and your environment. Confidence is as much about what you project externally as it is about what you know internally. An essential aspect of unshakable confidence is preparation. People who act confidently are prepared for outcomes, alternatives, and challenges. They anticipate opposition, understand their own strengths and weaknesses, and have plans in place for every scenario. This preparation removes hesitation, which others often mistake for uncertainty. When you move with this level of readiness, people naturally follow your lead because they sense that your decisions are grounded, informed, and deliberate. Another key element is the ability to maintain focus on your priorities. Confident individuals do not allow distractions, criticisms, or attempts to undermine them to shift their energy. Their attention remains on what others notice this for, and it commands respect because it signals that your time and energy are valuable and not to be squandered. When people recognize that your attention is not easily won, they begin to treat your presence, opinions, and decisions with care. Confidence also involves strategic action. It is not about reacting to every situation or proving yourself constantly. Instead, confident individuals act when it is necessary and meaningful. Their energy is reserved for high-value moments, decisions, and interactions. This selectivity amplifies their authority. People are drawn to and influenced by those who are deliberate, controlled, and purposeful because their confidence communicates mastery and judgment. Self-awareness reinforces. Understanding your strengths, your limits, and your value allows you to act without overcompensation or need for validation. You do not rely on external approval because you are grounded in your own knowledge and capabilities. Others sense this self-assuredness and respond accordingly. When people perceive that you are confident in yourself, they adjust their behavior, respect your boundaries, and take your presence seriously. Confidence is contagious. When you embody certainty, decisiveness, and composure, you influence the energy around you. People begin to trust your judgment, follow your lead, and respect your decisions. Your interactions no longer involve negotiation of authority or attention because your presence alone communicates that your energy is intentional, focused and disciplined. Ultimately, acting with unshakable confidence transforms your interactions and relationships. You are no longer at the mercy of others' opinions, provocations, or judgments. People treat you differently because they recognize strength, reliability, and authority in your presence. They see you as someone who commands attention without demanding it, influences outcomes without force, and operates from a place of quiet mastery. Acting with unshakable confidence is not about ego or dominance. It is about control over yourself, mastery of your energy, and deliberate presence in every interaction. Every word, action, and decision becomes a reflection of your certainty. Others recognize this power instinctively and adjust their behavior. Your confidence becomes a tool of influence, respect, and authority, allowing you to navigate every environment and interaction strategically. When combined with speaking less, valuing your time, stopping the need for approval, and mastering your presence, unshakable confidence completes the transformation. People no longer see you as just another participant in their environment. They see you as someone whose presence is meaningful, whose time is valuable, and whose decisions matter. Your energy commands attention, and your authority is established not through confrontation but through deliberate, confident action. Confidence is a lifelong practice. It is strengthened through self-control, awareness, preparation, and consistent demonstration of mastery. As it becomes ingrained, it affects every aspect of your life. People naturally treat you differently, not because you demand it, but because your energy, your actions, and your presence signal that respect, consideration, and attentiveness are the only appropriate responses. Acting with unshakable confidence transforms the way the world interacts with you. It is the culmination of self-discipline, presence, and strategic action. When mastered, it ensures that you are not ignored, disrespected, or underestimated. People begin to engage with you thoughtfully, follow your lead intentionally, and treat your space and energy with the seriousness it deserves. Confidence is the ultimate tool to change how the world perceives and interacts with you, and when wielded consistently, it ensures that your influence, authority, and presence are undeniable.